Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. So I know it's been a while since you guys have seen me with COVID going on and everyday work life. It's been a struggle for me to make some videos, but finally back on a set schedule. We traveled 45 minutes north today up to Ozello, Florida. We're in the feel free again today. A buddy of mine has told me that the fish are really turning on up here, so we're gonna see if we can get on some big snook and big reds. It'll be all artificial today. So let's see what we can do today. It's a beautiful morning out here. I mean, just no wind. We got an outgoing tide, so the fish should be feeding. So stay tuned, and I'll get back with you guys when we get to our first spot. Well, we're coming up on our first real spot. This is back in a bay, and this spot has produced some big snook in the past. Also some decent redfish. So hopefully on this outgoing tide, these fish are still laying up in here. There's a little bit of a deep hole in the back right side here, and I'm hoping we can get on some fish first thing this morning before it gets really hot. We'll see though. Sometimes the fish up here don't turn on until it gets hot. It's weird. It seems like they want to feed in the middle of the day instead of in the morning. Last few times I've been up here, I haven't even been able to get on a topwater bite, which is weird. So we're not gonna do topwater. We're gonna try just hitting these banks and fishing kind of in a pattern. There was a fish right there. I don't know what that was. Oh, they were laying up in here. But fishing the bank, fishing out from the bank, and just kind of fan casting. See if we can get on something right here. Hopefully we can get lucky and hook up quick. Already seen one fish. I don't know what it was. Probably redfish. And I just cannot believe how beautiful it is out here this morning. If it stays like this all day, it'll be a really good day, even if we don't catch fish. Alright, we're gonna fish to the left first. That sun is really low, and you guys ain't gonna be able to see anything if I fish that way. The sun's gonna be right in our face. Probably where the fish are though, just because I'm not gonna fish that way to start out. Last time I was in here, this particular spot, I broke a snook off that, I mean, I'm gonna say she was over 30. There's some fish right up in there. I don't know her exact size, and then I caught one that was just over 33, which is the legal slot limit here on this exact bait. So hopefully we can get lucky enough to catch a few of them. There's definitely some fish in here. I don't know if those are mullet moving around up there in the shallows or reds. Crystal River power plant over there. Used to be a nuclear plant. A few years back they had a contractor accidentally drill into a reactor, so now it is a coal plant. It is no longer nuclear, but that's a good plant to fish in the winter. They push out some warm water. Now, if you guys notice, I am reeling this bait extremely fast. I want this dart spin to run just under the surface. We're only fishing about a foot and a half of water in here. So, one, to stay off the bottom. There's a snook right there. Wow. That didn't take long at all. Oh, that's a good fish, boys. That's a good fish. Ooh, that's a good fish. Come on, come on. Ooh. Oh, broke me off. Man. That didn't take long at all. There's some oysters right here. She got me in the oysters, yeah. Clean cut. That was a big fish. Yep, clean cut. Ooh. Well, they're in here. I hope you guys I got that blow up on video. That's one reason why I run that bait right under the surface, is that fish came up and just demolished that bait. But let me retie real quick, and we'll see if there's any more sitting in this little bit of a hole on these oyster beds right here. Man, it sucks that I lost that fish. First fish of the day. But one thing you guys will see me do today, if we're hooking a bunch of fish, is these bigger snook, I only use 20-pound monofilament leader. So you will probably ask yourself or ask me when you're watching my videos that why I play the fish for so long and why my drag is so loose. I can't say how many times with these big snook that I catch that just that drag, I mean, that actually may be why that fish popped off. I mean, I don't know for sure that it was a rock, but that drag's pretty tight. With these 20-pound leaders, you know, I can't really horse that fish. Now you may ask, why aren't you using a bigger leader? I don't catch fish on anything more than 25. I don't. I think the snook can see it. I think the reds can see it. And I mean, I'll even go down as far as 15-pound leader sometimes. I just fight those fish real slow. And that's just a tip, you know, try to help you guys out. Drop down your leader size. Just loosen up that drag a little bit. You know, you're gonna lose fish. You're gonna lose a lot more fish. But you're also gonna catch more fish, because I feel like I get more bites on these lighter leaders. I mean, it's crystal clear in here. So, and snook have extremely big eyes. They're just like a largemouth bass. You know, they're a predatory, opportunistic feeder, and I think they see that line. And I don't know how many times I've dropped a bait in front of a snook with a 25-pound leader, and they just spook, and then tie a 15-pound leader on, and the same fish will eat the bait. So I definitely recommend the lighter leader. You know, just make sure you've got that loose drag. You should be able to just completely just pull out that drag, you know, and fight that fish, especially if you get that fish in open water. You know, tire them out, and you'll, in my opinion, will land more. But that's just me. I've had people tell me I'm crazy when it comes to fishing with the lighter leaders, but I do catch a lot more fish, and I feel like I get bigger bites. I definitely feel like when I get a bite, it's a bigger fish, because they don't see that line. Now, if the water was extremely murky, I'd be using 30. I mean, I'm not gonna lie to anybody. If I knew them fish could not see that line, I would jump up to 30-pound. I do have it. 30 is about the max you'll see me use, just because I think anything over that, unless you're deep sea fishing, is overkill for these inshore fish. And that didn't take long. for us to get a bite. Kind of sucks we lost the first fish though. That was a good snook. Probably in the 25, 28. Wasn't a giant, but it was definitely a decent fish. I have caught a few snook right here in front of me. Actually, there's some bait being hit up in the back of that cove. I ain't caught any big snook back in this cove. Caught 2 or 3 little, like 14 inchers before. So maybe we'll get lucky today and there'll be some more of them, or maybe a bigger one back up in here. Oh, there's a thump. There's some oysters right there. Oh, fish on. Fish on. I don't know what it is. Make sure my drag's not too tight. Oh, first red of the day. Nice. Beautiful little redfish. Come on, buddy. Stop, 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 stop. Oh. Beautiful little redfish. There's first fish of the day. Beautiful. Blue tail. Nice colors on her. Alright. Cool deal. Let's see if there's another one sitting on that oyster bed right here. Alright. I thought I was hitting the oysters. I think it was actually that little red hit it twice. Let's see if we can go get us another one right here. That's the first little redfish I've caught in this little cove. Right where my bait landed is where there's a patch of oysters that are sticking out. Jellyfish. Little bitty jellyfish. Oh, of course. A big old snook laying right there. Yep. It's one reason why I fan cast these areas, because that fish was laying right here. If you guys can see. Didn't throw right here. I was just fan casting out here in front of me. That was a big fish. I don't know if it's probably a big snook, but could have been a big red too. And every once in a while I do catch a trout back in here. So, but if that was, there was no way that was a big trout. I ain't seen a trout that big. And that's another tip that I can definitely give you guys when you're fishing artificial baits, is fan cast. You know, just over and over and over. Hit an area as many different angles as you can before you go up in there. And I'm not saying that you're gonna catch the fish, or even if the fish are there. You know, I've fished an area real hard thinking it looked super fishy and fish on. Coming to me. Another redfish. Wow, he was way up near the bank. A nice little red. feisty. Oh, come on. There you go. Oh, that's a beautiful fish. A little bit bigger. Beautiful red right there. Look at that. No spot on either side. That is a completely copper redfish. That is awesome. Fish right there. Beautiful. I love when they're like that. All right. But like I was saying before I hooked that fish, fan cast. I don't know how many times I've thrown right there in that spot, you know, just back and forth, just because the fish doesn't either see the bait the first go round or doesn't take it the first go round. You got to think, when you're fishing redfish, a lot of times these redfish have their face buried in the sand, buried in the mud. You know, they're looking for crabs, they're looking for small fish, they're looking for shrimp. So, you know, you throw over there like I just did, first cast, don't catch him. But him hearing this bait or maybe seeing it, he took his head up off the bottom, then you do a secondary cast in there and boom, he hits it. You know, just a tip, slow down. Try to fish an area slower. You know, use your power pole if you got one. The biggest mistake as fishermen that we make is we power fish. You know, we overfish an area, we fish it so quick, and you end up running up on these fish. I don't know how many times I go up into an area and I do 2-3 casts, and then I roll up in there and there's 15 fish laying on the bottom, and I just didn't fish it long enough. So definitely slow it down, especially when you're fishing a slow bait too. You know, if you're fishing like a for redfish, you know, we fish the saltwater jigs, well, it's a freshwater jig, but for like we do for bass fishing, Ned rigs, anything on the bottom, even gulp shrimp, you know, gotta fish it slow. When you're fishing these swim baits, do the 360 casts. Something just struck back there. You know, it 3-4 minutes I can cover all of this right here, you know, just back and forth. Then I move forward a little bit, make sure there ain't another one sitting up there. What I'll do is I'll pick my power pole up, I'll move forward just a smidge, and like I said, nice and slow. You know, really just get the kayak moving and let the wind do its thing. But I did it in, I normally do it in anywhere, I say it's the 3-stage rule. I fish the outside perimeter, the middle, and then the back side of these coves. Reason why I do that, you know, again, these fish could be stacked anywhere in here. Right now they're transitioning. There's something striking. These fish on are transitioning. Oh, that feels like a good fish. Ooh. Oh, that's a good red. Good redfish, y'all, I think. Yep. Perfect example. You know, I couldn't hit the back of that mangrove on that last spot I was at, so I moved up a little bit, re-anchored, first cast. That redfish was laying up there in them shallow banks. That's a good red right there. Ooh, it's a slot fish, looks like. And maybe under slot. Good fish though. Oh, rolling on my line. Come here, little girl. Come on, come on. Ooh, good fish. Good fish. Yeah, you say you're not a slot, I don't think. It's fine, we're not keeping you anyway. Come on. I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna let you go. Yep, top of the mouth. Beautiful. Look at that beauty right there. That is just a beautiful redfish. And glistening in that sun. Ah, they're just so beautiful. Ooh, thank you, girl. All right, get the release. And there she goes. You know, that's why I do the 3-stage rule. You guys have seen me probably make 30 casts in this one spot right here. And I've caught 2 fish. You know, if I would have came in here, just came up the bank and just pounded it, I would have completely missed this out here. You know, I know they're expensive. Don't get me wrong, they are extremely expensive. But these power poles that you can put on these kayaks, these micro power anchors, that's one of the best investments I've ever made. I mean, even if I didn't have my trolling motor on this kayak, I would absolutely, without a doubt, have a micro anchor. Reason being, I can get into these spots and fish nice and slow. I've come back in these little holes like this and all of a sudden catch a juvenile tarpon. Freaking shock you, not expecting it. Deep little hole in here in the middle. This goes way far back. I've never been back up in here exploring new water with you guys. Looks fishy though. Looks extremely fishy. Maybe we'll get lucky and there's a mondo sitting in here. Big Bertha. It's actually fairly deep. I'm surprised. A lot of bait. Good grass. Doesn't look like there's very many oysters though, which it seems like that's normally where we catch most of our fish. There's got to be some type of oyster somewhere. Only reason I know that is because I freaking get cut off all the time. I don't know how many times I've set the hook on a big fish, especially the big old red, and they go and they bury their face in the oyster beds. I've had a few reds that I've caught here. You know, you catch them and their faces are all bloody. You could feel it, your line's all chafed up where they were just digging that head in the, ooh, fish on. Oh, he missed it. Wow. That was a big fish. That was a huge thump and a big wake. Whew, I set the hook and it was nothing but drag, and my drag's pretty tight. That was a good fish. He had some weight on him. Man, that sucked. Hit it as soon as it hit the water. As soon as it hit the water, that fish had it in his mouth. Probably won't get another opportunity at him. That sucks. That shucks. I don't know why. I think I swung too fast. I felt him hit it and I didn't give him enough time to suck the bait down. I jumped the gun. Oh, fish on. Now, I don't know if you guys could see that, but I seen that fish coming. I seen the wake. This is a snook, I think. Yep. First snook of the day. Well, second snook hooked. Maybe we can get this one in. He ain't very big, but whew. I legitimately seen that fish coming. This is a pretty one. Oh, and a perfect hook set right in the top of the mouth. Come on. Look at her. Beautiful. That's what we're after. Hey, that's what we're after today. Look at that. That is a beautiful fish, y'all. Let's take a quick picture of her on the camera. Beautiful fish, everybody. Nice little snook. Biting my thumb. I just let him bite my thumb until she's ready to swim off. There she goes. Man, that's fun. Beautiful fish. Oh. All right, let's get back. This bait was so productive first thing this morning. I was kind of shocked. I kind of wanted, with the way they were hitting it like that, I was kind of wanting to tie on a top water, but now I'm scared to take this bait off. That's one thing. I am so confident in these bladed baits. I mean, there's days I've gone out and of course I don't catch anything. Everybody has those days. But I have had days where, you know, I go out and I throw 10, 15 different baits and don't get a single bite. And I tie one of these dart spins on, man, and just freaking immediately hook up. It's a bait I am very confident in. I have fished this thing everywhere. I mean, just thoroughly fished it. I don't care where I'm at. I will fish it. Freshwater, saltwater. They come in multiple colors. You can get the dart spin brand in watermelon or green pumpkin. They've got another one I like to use is the root beer with the gold flake. They've got a clear silver, a copper. There's a bunch of them, and they fit with about any jig head that you can fish them on. And then you can also make your own. So one thing that's really effective that I've done when the fish are being extremely picky, I'll take a gulp bait with a straight tail or a split tail, cut the tail off and screw one of these willow blades into it, and that is productive. I've had catch a school of fish, you know, using that scented bait. I don't know, I think it's something with the blade. You know, the Johnson spoons have always worked good for redfish. It's the vibration, I think, that it makes in the water, the flash. So I think the combination of a swim bait like this and then, you know, that flashy and the vibration that comes from the blade, I think it's just a combination. You can buy these online. Also, the Bait Depot has them. I normally buy almost every one that they have of the colors that I use. So if you go in there, I'm sorry. Bill, the owner, knows that I buy almost every one that they get in stock. So I do apologize if you go in there and they don't have them, but I would definitely try out the other colors. You know, I am a very color oriented guy. I don't know if I've said that before. You know, clear water, I want a bait that's going to match it. If I got a little bit of tint to it, I will switch to a root beer. A root beer is my all-time favorite color. But that bait right there in clear water, I don't know what it is. It is just a killer bait. They love this bait. I still ain't quite figured out what it is about it. You know, I've tried other baits that are similar and with no luck. I don't know. I've thrown one of these, you know, with the blade, and then caught fish in an area, found fish in an area, and then turned around and tried a swim bait without the blade, just a regular paddle tail, and have no luck. And we just spooked a fish right there. I don't know what that was. So I have definitely figured out that it is something to do with the vibration that comes off of this blade. The only complaint that I have about the dart spins, if you guys start using them, is they ride way up in the water column. So when you're fishing an area that's got a deeper hole, or you're trying to fish deeper in the water column, you really have to slow this bait down. A 1/4 ounce head on these trout eye jig heads is about the biggest I will go. It's the only one. You can either use the short shank or the long shank, but anything over a 1/4 ounce to an 1/8 ounce is too big. The bigger heads that they make, this bait doesn't track well. I don't know, it just does not work. Ooh, that was a fish. But yeah, I mean, where I'm getting with this is you guys really need to try these baits out, or, you know, they are expensive, these bodies. I would definitely recommend making your own. They're a lot cheaper. You know, you can buy a thing of swim baits, cut the tail off. Bass Pro has the little willow bait, the screw-in willow blades, so they're cheap. I think you get like 10 in a pack of like $5. For $5 you get a 10 pack. They come in silver, they come in gold, they come in like a copper color. So that's the cheaper route. When I can't find the dart spins or they're out of stock, that's what I do. I make my own. And look at that, look at that. Just a freaking redfish right there. That was a red. There's so many fish in here. It is unbelievable. Woohoo, look at that snook, everybody. There's a big old snook right there. Big snook. Whew. Yeah, they're just not feeding. They're in here, but they are not feeding. Wow, that was a big snook. Well, at least you guys got to see one. I don't hook one. That was a 40-inch snook right there. That was not a baby. Man, there are just so many fish stacked in here. It's unbelievable. Cannot believe. I mean, I'm still seeing fish, y'all. I mean, just one after another. I mean, that's a fish right there making a wake. It's just unbelievable how many fish are just in here. They're not feeding. None of these fish are feeding. We must be in the slack tide. For some reason, they're just not wanting this bait. I found them. They're concentrated. That's how it happens. I mean, there's just nothing you can do. But I guarantee once the tide switches, I can come back here later and catch these fish. I mean, that's just big red right there. Big red. There was every bit of 40 fish sitting in here. And that's, you know, in a situation like this, guys, when you find fish and, you know, I was being quiet. I wasn't moving real fast. The wind was pushing me along. You start spooking them, you know, don't get discouraged. Don't freak out. You know, these fish are in here for a reason. So I always, you know, back out of the area, stop, get real quiet, you know, let the fish settle down. A lot of times, you know, just because they're not, this group of fish right here is not feeding at this moment, an hour from now, 30 minutes from now, come back to this area. You know there's fish here. Come back, fish them. A lot of times you'll get lucky. Fish on. You'll get lucky. That's a big fish. I say big, feels big. I don't know. It's coming to me. Oh, yeah. It's good fish. Good red. Like that, you know. I just stopped and just kept fan casting, and one took it. Ooh, you covered in grass. You ain't one of them. That's why it feels so big. It's a good fish, but he ain't a giant. It's a slot, looks like. Beautiful. I don't care what size you are. Man, look at that copper tail, blue tail. Whoop, under the boat. Get out from under the boat. Y'all write it down. Rare moment. Sean's fat self standing up in a kayak fighting a fish. Don't do this very often. Now see, I'm gonna show you guys something right here when we land this fish. These fish are feeding. I don't care. We spooking them. I don't know why they're not taking this bait. These fish are feeding, and I'm gonna show you how I know that just by the way this fish ate my bait. Fully engulfed. It's a good fish. I don't know if you guys can see that. That bait is in his mouth. It isn't on the outside. It's just, he ate it. Oh. Beautiful fish. That is an absolute beautiful redfish. Big old crushers. He's been eating some crabs. So you've been eating some crabs, bud. Beautiful fish. Yeah, he's been eating some shrimp. That is a gorgeous fish. All right. And immediately just took off. Where did I put that towel? So, that's awesome. That makes my day. Makes my day. That's another thing, guys. You know, I said this on the channel before, but anybody who watches my channel, you know, I met a guy this morning that has seen my videos, and if you guys are ever, you want to add me on Facebook, or you know, hit me up on Instagram, even hit me up in the comments. I'd be more than happy to come out and fish with y'all. You know, if you want to get together and fish Ozello, or if you want to go to Fort DeSoto, or, you know, anything like that, which in my general area that I cover, you know, hit me up. I'm always looking for people to fish with. You know, I'll put you in the videos with me. I don't think I'm the best fisherman in the world by any means, but I do have a lot of knowledge and techniques and stuff that pan out for me. You know, baits that I've fished with that I'd be more than happy to teach you guys, especially if you're just getting into the kayak fishing scenery, or you're just getting into fishing in general. You know, a buddy of mine, Matt, that you guys have seen in the videos before, he's only been saltwater fishing for about 1.5 years. And he's gotten a lot better. You know, I've been able to teach him some things. I've been able to show him some new techniques. And that's why I'm out here and doing this. You know, that's why I started this channel, is to be able to teach you guys just what I know and to show you the fish that I can catch. But yeah, just keep that in mind. If you ever want to hit me up on the comments, or, you know, you guys can add me on Facebook. I'm more than happy to get with you and take you out, and we'll hang out, you know. And I'm not going to charge you to take you out and fish. You know, I'm out here to have fun. I know that there's a lot of charter kayak people around here, and I'm not trying to take their business, but, you know, if you just want to come out and have fun, you know, I can't supply you a kayak. You have to have your own. But, you know, I'd be more than happy to fish with you guys. And if you ever see me in person, like this morning, I don't know who the gentleman was that I spoke to, but hey man, hit me up in the comments. You said you were gonna watch this video when I post it. You know, if you ever want to get together, man, and fish, you're more than welcome to. You know, I was willing to share information on what direction he should go this morning, where I've been catching fish. You know, I ain't scared to show you guys and teach you guys and let you fish areas that I've fished. I ain't a stickler when it comes to fishing, especially kayakers. You know, we're very limited to where we can fish compared to other boaters, because we can't travel as far. You know, that's actually one reason why I went with the motorized kayak, is I get a little bit more distance than some people do. So, but anyway, end result, if you guys ever want to get together and fish, just hit me up. I'll be more than happy. I don't work weekends, so I am off Saturdays and Sundays, sometimes off on Fridays. So I'll be more than happy to go with you guys. Fish on. I don't know what this is. I didn't get to see. Looks like a ladyfish. I think it is. It is. A big old ladyfish. Big old ladyfish. Oh. I know you guys have heard me say it before. I absolutely hate ladyfish. Absolutely hate them. The only thing they are good for is bait. What we'll end up maybe doing is just giving this spot a rest for a little bit. We'll come back later, because I think these fish are just spooked. Yeah, I think these fish are spooked. Oh, there's a swirl right here. Fish on. There we go. Wow. Big fish, everybody. Big snook. Whoo! Big snook, everybody. That is what we've been waiting on right there. Oh, come on. Oh, thank God. Oh, that's a big girl. All right, drag's loose. Whoo! It's a big fish, everybody. That's what the whole time we've been in here, this is what we've been trying to do. The entire time. I watched that fish swirl on something, and I threw in front of her, and she just slammed it. Oh, God, such a big fish. Whew. It's a big fish. It looks like a 30. Oh, God, gill plate. Oh, I felt the gill plate. Come on, stop that. Stop. I hope you guys can see that fish just in case she breaks off. I'm fighting her light. Wow. Ooh, that's a good snook. She ain't no 40, but she is a beauty. All right, this might be our opportunity to get her right here. Come on, stop that, stop. I can feel that leader chafing real bad. But you guys, I mean, that drag is extremely loose. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Just slowly fighting this fish. Oh, wow. Come on. Got her. Whoo! Heck yeah. Oh, big fish in the boat, everybody. On camera. That is what we were coming for. Oh, come on. Don't flop on me. Oh, yeah, you weren't coming off. You weren't coming off. There she is, everybody. It's about a 30-inch snook right there. That is a freaking stud. That is what we were in here for. Absolutely beautiful. Just a tip for everybody. Try not to ever hold them upright with their mouth open. You will break their jaw. Always try to support their stomach. Everybody knows that. If you're going to take a picture, hold them straight up and down. Do not hold them with their weight on their mouth. Always hold them like vertical like this, or like I recommended, under the stomach. That is a beautiful specimen. Let's get a picture of her real quick. There we go. Zoom out. Photo delay, 3 seconds. All right, let's get a picture. All right, everybody, beautiful fish right there. That is what we were out here. Cool. All right, get her back in the water. Oh, she's lively. All right, and then like always, she just bites down on my thumb. You just hold that fish there, you let her come back. A lot of people make the mistake of pushing that fish back and forth in the water. Fish, they do not get oxygen when the water goes backwards in their gills. So you just slowly take her. Hope you guys can see that. That is a big fish. That is actually probably a keeper snook right there. They are open here in Ozello. I don't like keeping these big girls. That's a breeder fish. But she is absolutely gorgeous. And there's the release. Nice and slow. She just creeps off, nice and healthy. Oh, that is awesome. Thank you, Lord. Man, that was great. That's gonna probably complete our day, everybody. That fish right there. That's the only reason I've stuck around this long, was try to get one to bite. So that was absolutely awesome. I really enjoyed finally getting back out here to get a video for you guys. I hope you enjoyed what we did catch and getting to see that big fish right there. Like I said earlier in the video, you guys ever want to get together and fish with me, I am open for it. I'm always available on the weekends. Hit me up. You can add me on Facebook. You can add me on Instagram, redfishlife727. You got the comments on YouTube for on the page. But yeah, hit that subscribe button for me. Hit the bell. You guys will be able to see all the new videos I'm getting ready to come out with. And like I always say, you know, get out here, fish. Doesn't matter the conditions. You know, today's beautiful, but if it was raining, I'd be out here. Do what you love. Stick to it. Come out here and enjoy it. And I will see you guys next time.